I'm doing my last hit on the snare drum before I finally end my practice session. And as I looked at the time I've practiced, oh, it's been 30 minutes. That's literally 10 minutes more than last week's practice sessions. That's awesome. And I finally started practicing consistently as well. On most days of the week, I can practice for 30 minutes or 40 minutes. But after I practiced for 30 minutes, I wouldn't feel productive and fulfilled, but instead what I'd feel was a little bit of shame, a little bit of directionlessness, and a loss of hope. Why? Well, to answer that question, let's fast forward to 2 years later now. I'm practicing for 60 minutes now, and I'm gonna be honest, bro, I'm not that consistent anymore, but after the practice sessions, I actually feel productive, fulfilled, and I actually feel really nice. So what changed? Well, I think it was what I actually practiced. So if you're watching this video right now, then you might have already had this problem where you just kind of mindlessly practice around the drum set. And this is actually a side effect of the real, bigger problem that you have, which is you don't know what to necessarily practice. And even if you know what to practice, you don't know how to practice it. There's 10 to 15 minutes of practice left, and I'd been practicing already for like 40 minutes, and I grabbed something out of my bag. It was a protein bar. And so I'm just taking a little break and, I open my protein bar and start eating it. And I'm thinking about what I practiced today. And even though I've practiced for like 40 minutes, I didn't improve that much on my timing, and I was kind of doing random stuff on the drum set. But there was something with this day. It was that this day actually wasn't special at all. This day was practically every weekend of my life when I was in Bali. So fast forwarding a few months, I decided to open my YouTube channel for drumming. And once I did, there was a massive problem. Now I actually needed to record my drumming. Not only that, I actually needed to edit videos. I need to script. I needed to record the videos. I needed to make thumbnails and all of that. But anyway, despite all of that, I still decided to record my drumming and do all that stuff anyway. And so the next time we go with the taxi to the studio, there was like tripods there, so I could just plug my phone there and then record my drumming. This was the start of how I actually managed to feel so much better after practicing. Why did I feel so much better after practicing with recording myself? Well, I'm gonna tell you another story. So this one day I was in shock. It couldn't have been that bad, right? No way, this is actually me. I don't have good audio, and that's probably why I don't sound so good. This was me when I first recorded myself playing drums. I couldn't even count how many mistakes there were in my playing, but luckily for me, even though my playing sounded so bad, that was actually the perfect situation to be in. Wait, what? Why would your playing sound bad and you'd be in the perfect situation first, Tom? Good question. So, recording myself actually made me discover that I was bad in drums. And I felt really cringy looking back at those recordings. But what I didn't realize was that those were actually a gold mine. Because the thing that makes you sound bad, that's the thing that you should be practicing on.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
For example, if you look back at your recording and you see that your left hand is weak and you're kind of out of time, your coordination kind of sucks, boom. What you did there was instantly you found what to practice just by looking at your recordings. How crazy is that? So as an actionable step to this very powerful tool, grab your practice pad and come on, like, bro, did you really think that you would just sit there and watch me, bro? Come on, grab your practice pad And if you don't have one, by the way, just go to your drum set or just grow up. And I want you to record yourself while practicing. And I literally want you to only do this for 1 singular minute. If you could do this for 1 minute, then it's more than enough. So now, after you've recorded yourself, just look back at your recording. Your brain is instantly just gonna notice a few things wrong about your drumming. And usually they will fall under these 4 categories. So there's being out of time, there's repetitive and boring fills and grooves or whatever. Your technique sucks, or it's your coordination. And once you know what problem you have now it's time to actually fix those problems. And I'm gonna show you step by step how to fix those problems individually. So click, 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 click. My head starts hurting from the metronome sounds. I've been practicing already for 5 minutes. I'm still out of time. I sigh and I continue a bit more until I practice for 10 minutes. I start questioning myself, like, why am I still out of time? What am I doing wrong? And then I practice for 15 minutes with a metronome, but I still don't feel improvements in my timekeeping. And the worst part about this situation was that this occurred to me every single time I actually practiced. I wouldn't improve on my timekeeping even if I practiced with a metronome. But what can we do to solve this? I mean, isn't there a way to get better with another method? Well, fortunately for you, bro, there is actually one. If you want to make practicing with metronomes literally on crack, then you can use what's called a gap click. So I've mentioned this previously in some videos, but a gap click is just what it sounds like. Usually there will be like 1 bar of metronome, and then 1 bar will be silent, and then there will be 1 bar again, 1 bar not, and so on. Oh my god, like I wish someone actually told me and someone actually held me by my shoulders like I'm doing you, and then teach me about the gap click, because even my drum teacher, who was like playing at gigs and was a professional drummer, even he didn't know the gap clicks. So the gap click is essentially like the speed enchanted netherite pickaxe in Minecraft compared to the diamond pickaxe. Now, the diamond pickaxe is already good. It's already pretty good. If you want a really good digging power, then you have to use the netherite enchanted pickaxe in Minecraft. Think about it like that. The normal metronome is already good, but if you want the metronome on crack, literally, then you can use gap clicks. So as an actionable step right now, if you could use the gap click in only 1 practice session, whether it's after this video or if it's tomorrow, that would be phenomenal. If you could just use it once in that practice session. After a few practice sessions, you actually start noticing that your timing gets much better than when you practice with a normal metronome. And I won't go into too much why this happens. If you want me to explain a video about gap clicks, then you can just comment below. But having good timing won't matter when you don't even have good creativity on drums. For a long time, I've struggled with creativity, and the worst part about that was that I didn't even know that I was actually struggling with this problem. So a method that helped me tremendously with creativity is simply just by learning more fills, rudiments, grooves, and experimenting. And I know this is very basic ass advice, but that's literally it. Despite all the, trash YouTubers tell you like 7 ways to increase your creativity in drums, like no, bro, there's no ways. It's literally just learning more things that makes you more creative. That's the simple answer. That is literally like 100% the truth. There's no versatility checklist or something like that. It's literally just that. So I'm gonna give you an example of this. So imagine you learn paradiddles, right?
Paradiddles.
And paradiddles by itself isn't really that useful, right? Or is it that creative? But you have your right hand on the hi-hat and left hand on the snare, and then you make a groove with paradiddles. And so now, you're a bit more creative now. Okay, well, what if we instead made it a fill? Oh, okay. A little bit more creative. Okay, what if instead now, when I'm doing a paradiddle fill, what if I move my right hand to the floor tom? Oh, okay, that's more creative. Okay, what if I instead, change up my right hand every so often so that it hits the hi-hat sometimes? Oh, okay, that's more creative. And suddenly, you've learned this much, but now you can actually expand off of that and be more creative with it. So now you might be like, okay, for some, that's great, but like, how do I do this? How do I implement this into my practice sessions? And so as an actionable step right now, I'm gonna recommend you this 4-step formula. First, listen to some songs that you already like and specifically listen to the drumming parts. And I put myself in the position of the drummer while I'm listening to a song. So like, I'm imagining myself playing drums along with the song, and I'm imagining myself being the actual drummer in the song. Anyway, I don't know if you have that too. And then second, if you like anything that the drummer does, literally just type on YouTube that drummer's name and add in fill tutorial or groove tutorial, and then watch those tutorials on YouTube if there are any. If there aren't, then return to step 1 and search a new drummer. And then the fourth is to actually just learn those fills and then experiment with them. And so what this will do is not only are you going to enjoy learning, but you're also going to I stumble upon this video of Drumeo, and after searching on YouTube how to get cleaner drumming, there was this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was playing the drums so cleanly, and one of the advice that he gave was to practice specifically your weaker hand. For most drummers, it's their left hand. And after that, I decided to try it, and I noticed that I could play things much more cleanly and much better now. So as an actionable step, I want you to do that. Practice your left hand, and especially practice those push-pull techniques, like those double strokes. If you have like a matched grip like I do, then practice like the push-pull technique. And if you don't know what your technique should exactly look like, then here's mine. With general technique, however, I've mentioned this advice a bunch of times, but your technique does actually get better over time. Like, you just have to not backtrack on your progress, and you just have to play drums. And coordination is also something that gets better over time. If you play drums at all, then it will just improve over time no matter what. Anything in drums kind of require a bit of coordination, even like the 2 and 4 beats. Even that requires some coordination, right? That's why people can't just start out and play that beat perfectly. It's because it requires a coordination. Also, I had this very specific problem of not being able to coordinate my hi-hat foot, and yes, it also comes with time as well. And personally, for me, it took me 2.5 years to get decent coordination, including my hi-hat foot, but I still, of course, have a lot to improve on. And if you want to go more in depth and you're a self-taught drummer and you're a beginner as well, then click this video next to watch my full guide that I spent literally 50 hours working on. Make sure you watch that video, bro. It's super valuable. And I also have a free coaching in the description. It's a top link. There's 5 clients left. I'll see you in the full guide, bro. And yeah, peace.